It's a great win.
Just a few weeks ago, this Republican seemed on a lonely campaign as he drove across the state in his now famous GMC truck.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Now he's a national star and the 41st Republican senator, the one vote blocking the president's health care reform plan. I caught up with Scott Brown this weekend in Massachusetts on his tour to thank the voters. But his morning routine does not yet reflect his newfound celebrity, doing household chores, walking the family dog Snuggles, and eating breakfast at a local diner. I wanted to know what it is about Scott Brown that has made him so appealing to voters practically overnight. So you have a fascinating resume. Let me, just in case some people don't know it, at 12, you were arrested for shoplifting.
Right down the street.
You remember the place, okay.
I do.
At 22, you pose nude for Cosmopolitan magazine. For the past 30 years, you've been in the National Guard, and you have the rank of Lieutenant Colonel. In the past 6 years, you've been a state senator, and now as the newly elected Republican senator for Massachusetts. You are the new star. I just saw that when I traveled a little bit with you. What do you most want to accomplish? What's your passion?
Well, let me tell you what I'm most proud of. First of all, that's being married for 23 years and having 2 great kids. And I want to accomplish what I think is already starting to happen, which is to bring good government back to the equation, have people come together and talk about issues out front, transparent, not behind closed doors. And I think that's happening, as evidenced what happened with the president yesterday.
Well, you know, there was, when the president had the meeting with the Republicans and that back and forth, and the president talked about the fact that both sides demonize the other, but it seems to be working for the Republicans. Do you feel pressure that as the 41st, you'll have a tough time voting Republican all the way? Everyone
really is the 41st senator, and what it means is that now there will be full and fair debate, and there will be no more behind closed doors. And make no mistake, I am a fiscal conservative, and when it comes to issues affecting people's pockets and pocketbooks and wallets, I'll be with the Republicans if they are in fact pushing those initiatives.
It has been said all over the country that your election was more about a disappointment in the president than it was about voting for you in particular.
I have to respectfully disagree. People here spoke very loudly and very plainly about taxes and spending, terrorism, and the health care proposal.
Which means you, which you represented.
That's correct.
Yeah. You know, when I was with you just a little while ago with the crowd, one of the women said, behind me, said, President, 2012. And you said to me, or under your breath, that's silly. But do you rule it out?
I have to tell you, I don't even have a business card. I haven't even been sworn in. I don't have any exploratory committees started. I don't have anything. It's overwhelming, and it's extremely humbling. I don't know what else to tell you.
Let's talk about another rising star in the Republican Party, Sarah Palin. Do you think that Sarah Palin is presidential material?
Well, sure. I mean, she's been a mayor and a governor and has a lot of a national following, but I think the more people in a presidential race, the better. She's never contacted us and vice versa.
Let's talk about some of your specific views. You are pro-choice, yes?
Yep.
And gay marriage is legal in the state of Massachusetts, but the Republican Party platform language calls for the overthrow of Roe v. Wade, and they want a federal ban on gay marriage. Are you out of step with your party, or do you think that the party has to broaden it and change its platform?
Well, I've always been a big tent person. You know, we need more people to come into our tent to express their views in a respectful and thoughtful manner. And you know, Roe v. Wade is the law of the land, but I think we need to do more to reduce the amount of abortions. And the difference between me and maybe others is that I'm I'm against partial birth abortions, I'm against federal funding of abortions, and I believe in a strong parental consent notification law. And we should do more for adoptions.
But you're still pro-choice?
Yes, because I feel this issue is best handled between a woman and her doctor and her family. And on the marriage issue that you brought up, it's settled here in Massachusetts. I believe that states should have the ability to determine their own destiny, and that the government should not be interfering with individual states' rights on issues that they deal with on a daily basis.
Well, there is the debate now in the Republican Party as to whether it should be more conservative or more moderate. Which direction do you Brendan?
They can do whatever they want. I just know that I'm a Scott Brown Republican. What does that mean? That means I'm going to go down there and be accountable, accessible, open and honest, and I'm going to bring good government and fairness back to the equation. I'm a fiscal conservative. I care very deeply about, because my mom was, as you probably know more than anybody, is, she was on welfare for a time. I remember getting the blocks of cheese and worrying about how we're going to pay the bills. So when it comes to fiscal issues, I'm going to be very conservative and concerned about people's dollars.
And social issues, a little more moderate.
Yeah, of course.